This message is going to be a divine activation and healing message. The numbers 888 could be significant. You could be seeing those numbers a lot. 88, you could be born in 1988. I'm getting right now, there's something that is closing out at this time. It hasn't completely closed out, but there is something that is closing out. Whatever this is that is closing out, I'm getting you. You're not closing out, but there's a belief, there's an illusion that is being removed and it's nearing completion. This is something that may have kept you stagnant and stuck. It could be with like lack, abundance. No, abundance. It could be with like resources. There we go. It's not just with money. It's just resources. You're realizing right now that you could be realizing, or you will be realizing, how resourceful you are, how intuitive you are, how valuable you are, how divinely guided and protected you are. This is something that you're going to be learning on this journey as you're awakening, as you're growing, as you're healing, as you're becoming. Just how powerful you are, just how resourceful you are. The resources is within you, the information is within you, the intelligence is within you, and this is what you're going to be realizing. You're going to be also guided to certain places, to certain people, to certain things, and that's how you're going to know that you're resourceful. I'm getting like we think so much that I'm gonna say this one thing I had to learn on my journey as I was awakening. This is a cycle this is a mindset that I had to remove, thinking that everything was external, thinking that, even when it came to resources, even when it came to things being valuable, I had to remove that mindset of thinking just everything was valuable, everything was resourceful outside of me. We have so much value within. We're so valuable. We're so resourceful. We have an intuition. We have information. We have intelligence within us. And along this journey, as you're awakening, you're going to be learning that, you're going to be learning to go within so that you can listen to that inner voice, the depths, you're growing, you're learning. And that's a part of what this journey is trying to teach you, just who you are, how adequate you are, how extraordinary you are, how unique you are. We wasn't taught this. What you're going to be learning on this spiritual awakening, we wasn't taught this. We wasn't taught this at all. But it don't matter if you're a masculine or a feminine, you are resourceful. And this journey is trying to remove that lack mindset, that poverty mindset of you feeling like you're inadequate, feeling like the abundance is outside of you, the prosperity is outside of you, the intelligence is outside of you, the resources or the value is outside of you. It's within you, First, before those resources became a thing externally, in the past, when it comes to just the world and when it comes to people, places, and things, that was in someone first. That information, those resources came from within. But we're not taught that. We're not taught that this is true. We're not taught that this is what happens. So we're just taught that it's just external. Everything's eternal. We got external. We gotta go get it from someone. No, we have that within, and then we're guided to the people, places, and things that will help us along the way. February 8th, 1994 could be significant. The initials KDM could be significant as well. I'm getting things are coming into balance for you, when it comes to this abundant mindset. That cycle is being closed out, and you're protected in this. Your resources is protected. That's what I'm guided to say. Your resources is protected. Your prosperity is protected. Your ideas, your creativity, your uniqueness is protected in this time. And, this is a new beginning for you. You're being guided to stay strong along this path, continue to have faith, and know that the doors and the opportunities that are meant for you, you may not see it yet. You may be at the beginning of your awakening where, just illusions and everything is just, being unfolded for you. But that's okay. I'm here because I made it through. I'm here to speak on it. That's why I'm guided to do divine activation and healing right now. I've been doing divine activation and healing. It's actually my actual deck, my digital deck that I have, that I'll be putting back on the website for you all to purchase, along your journey, so that you can be guided along your journey, so that you will have something to guide you along your journey like it guided me, because it literally helped me. I'm going to and on the back of this tag, it says 5444. 5444. I cannot make any of this up, but wow, 444 speaks of protective. You're being protective energy, unconditionally loved. You're supported. You're supported on this journey. As you go through the spiritual awakening, you're supported. And that's one thing I had to believe. I had to sleep in my car for almost 3 years. And I had to believe that. I didn't have any stability. I didn't have any security. And, I was in and out of, there was times that I did have someone that'll let me stay at their house, at their crib, but it'll be for a month, maybe 2 months, almost 3. I don't even think I stayed at anyone's house for a good full 3 months. Maybe the last person I stayed at the house I did, but throughout those 3 years, I would say I was homeless, sleeping in my car 92% of the time. And, I had to believe I was protected. I was even still doing these messages. No one knew. I may have spoke about it every now and then, but I try to really keep that to myself when I was making these messages. I was just making them, and I was just, not only speaking the message, but I had to do it as well. I'm no longer homeless. I'm no longer in a position that I, was once in. I'm no longer in the mindset that I was once in as well. So I wouldn't be, and I also created divine activation and healing when I was going through what I was going through. It was right before I got evicted from my home. It was right before I got evicted from my home when I first created this digital deck. And my whole point was, I'm like, okay, this is what has helped guided me, because I know there's different levels to us. And although we don't already be at the finish line, which there's not a finish line, but that's just me just trying to make a point. Although we're not there yet, we can still make and create things along the journey, as we graduate from the mindset and the way of thinking that we once were. And so I was realizing how I was being guided. I was really realizing how aware I was, and the signs, and listening to my inner voice and my intuition. And, I was just realizing how adequate it was, and how I was being guided to the places that I needed to go, to the people I needed to be around, to the environments that I was. I was in and out of states. I was in Alabama. I was in Atlanta. I had to sleep in Alabama. I had to sleep in Atlanta. And I'll get to those stories. I will get to those stories later on in divine activation and healing, because that'll be all month. But I'll get more detail into those stories when, I've been in North Carolina. I've been in oh my goodness. I've been in a lot of places, and the circumstances, you wouldn't believe the reason why I had to sleep in these places. Atlanta, I had to sleep there because my whole phone had cracked. Imagine that. My phone cracked. Oh my gosh. I'll tell the story. So long story short, my phone cracked, and I was trying to get back to North Carolina, and my phone cracked, and my phone ended up cracking. Whole screen went blank. But I did have another phone, but it wasn't on. And so I only used it for, to do, because I did Instacart at the time. And I did Instacart at the time, so I was only using that phone for a work phone. I just used the personal hotspot just to get to, to and from when I was doing Instacart, DoorDash, and all that. And so that was the only phone that I had to get back. But I had to spend a night in Atlanta for a few nights, because I had to make the money to get back to North Carolina. I had to make the money to get back to where I needed to go. And like I said, my phone was blank. So and how I made the money, that's one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to figure out a way. So, of course, my phone was blank and cracked. What I ended up doing was I ended up using the Wi-Fi to the stores. So any store I'll go sit at. So first of all, I had to take a shower at Planet Fitness, because I already had a membership there, and that's how I took my showers. But not only that, what I'll do is I'll go to the stores, right? and sit there under the Wi-Fi. Like, it'll be Publix. I sit at Publix. I sit at just different stores under the Wi-Fi so that I can get an order, so I can make the money for the order. And I'll sit there, and then I'll do the order. And before I leave, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put the person's address in the map before I leave, so it'll take me there. So that's one thing that maps do. Like, if you go ahead and put the address in, it'll go ahead and take you to where you need to go, you know. But I know you're like, okay, how did you get back to the store? Because I'm really not good. That's the thing. Like, one thing I can admit, I'm not good with directions. And so sometimes I have 2 customers. So what I'll do, I'll go to like a hotel, or I'll go to a store. I know you're not supposed to do that, but because, you know, people can hack into your stuff. But one thing I'll do is I'll go to like a store, or I'll go to like a hotel. I'll make sure I pay attention. If it was a store or hotel on the way, I'll pull up close to it, connect to their Wi-Fi, and go to the second person's house, you know, and I'll do it like that. And where I even learned that from is there's been many times my phone was off. So, and I still had to work, you know, I didn't let it stop me. So the things that I be speaking of, the things that, and like, before I get into that, I made enough money so I could get back to where I was going. But just to go back to what I was saying, it's been many times that my phone was off and I still had the Instacart. And so that's where I learned that concept of doing this. Like, okay, we got to get it by any means necessary. We don't just have nobody that we could just ask for money for, you know. And we don't want everybody in our business. So I just had to get it how I got it. So when I only tell you this story, and that's what divine activation and healing is. That's why I'm guided to do these messages, because it's stories within these messages that I have to tell, that I'm guided to tell. I'll say that they can help those get through whatever journey that they're getting through at this time, to let you know I'm not just sitting here just talking just to be talking because it sounds cute. You can't see me, for one. So I'm not trying to sound all cute, or I'm not trying to be all cute and, you know, any of that. What I'm doing is speaking truth, and to let you know that I've gotten through a lot of the things that could have stopped me. I could have made an excuse for. I could have stopped. I could have, you know, I could have let it get the best of me. And I didn't at all. And, you know, there's many stories that I'm going to be telling, you know, that I got through, and I didn't make an excuse for. I just kept going. That's all I know how to do. That's all I know how to do. It's not me trying to sound all tough. It's not me trying to sound all, it's not. It's just me. I had a friend tell me one time, they were like, you don't, and you just don't stop. Like, they were looking at me like they saw the things that I was going through. This was one of the friends that I stayed with. They were like, they saw the things that I was going through. They was like, and you don't stop. And I was like, I looked at them, I said, I can't. Because I can't, you know. Going back to what I was saying, though, I made this deck when I was first at the beginning of my awakening. And I created it then. And, you know, it was like I was still doing those messages as I was going through what I was going through, but I was still overcoming things. So that's why I felt more, you know, that's why I felt the need to even, you know, do the messages, because I'm like, okay, I haven't overcome everything, but I've overcome some things. So I know that I could continue to do these messages. Now, I'm not even in the same position that I was in. Like, you know, of course I'm not where I know that of course I'm not where I know that I vision myself yet, but I'm nowhere near where I was. And that's why I'm making these messages, to let you know. And that's why, you know, I'm guided to do these messages, so that you can know that, you know, the things that I've been saying in these messages, not just sound all, I'm not getting this from nobody. I'm not replicating nobody. This is coming from authentic experience. This is coming from truth. This is coming from me. This is coming from my mouth. This is coming from my expression. This is coming from who I am. This is coming from the wisdom, the intuition, the truth, the signs, the secret. And this is the divine that is within. It's not coming from no place else. It can't. I wouldn't even allow it. I wouldn't even allow it if it did. I would not allow it if it did. You wouldn't even, you would know. I feel like you would know. And so that's why I say, even along this journey, as you awaken, you're gonna learn to trust in yourself so much. You're gonna learn you're gonna learn to trust in yourself so much. You're gonna learn that it's awakening you so that you don't do anything else besides of what's true to yourself. You're going to speak. You're going to express yourself. You're going to create. You're going to be this individual who is true to you and nobody else. And as I spoke this in many messages, it's going to be, you're going to be so uniquely and authentically you. See, in the past, people could replicate you, hide their hand and get away with it. But, but the new you, it's going to be so obvious who you're becoming, and you being able to stay true into who you are. It's going to be so obvious if somebody replicating you. They're going to know. People are going to know, oh no, I know where you get this from. I know. So funny because I keep having to pause the video because my throat keeps, I don't know if you can hear, but I keep coughing, so I keep having to pause the video because it's like, okay, I don't want this message to get out, huh? But anyway, going back to what I said, I'm going to speak it. You're going to be so authentic in you, so unique in yourself, that if anybody try to copy or replicate or do what you do, people going to notice it. People going to notice, so they're going to have no choice but to put respect on your name. And I'm not even a person that really care about all that respect and this and that, all that. But it only bothers me when people try to take from people and then act like it's theirs and then try to one up with what they have copied, or you inspire somebody and then they try to one up you. That's the only time it gets to me. Other than that, I get it. Okay, we're all here creating. We all here have ideas. We all here to help uplift and elevate ourselves and others. But when they try to come a one-up thing, that's when I get a little bit irritated. Maybe a little bit irritated more than I should, because it's like, why take, then hide your hand, then hide behind it and act like you did it, and then try to one up and bash me? Like, leave me alone then. If you're gonna do it, if you're gonna do it silently, do it silently. Just leave it alone. You telling on yourself now. But look, see, that's where it gets me. That's the only time but it's not gonna get me anymore, because I get it. And like I said, you're gonna become so in tune with you. You're gonna get so true to you that it's gonna be noticed anyway. Everything is going to be noticed. It's going to be noticed. People are going to, and then those who once saw the person that replicated you probably in the past or tried to replicate you before, they're going to see, oh, this came from this person all along. This is where this come from. This wasn't truly you. The people that thought that the original they thought that who was copying you was the original person, until you start showing and creating and doing what you're guided to do. And then they're like, hold up, wait, something not right. Because you get weary in that. You get weary in being another person. You get weary in being another person. Because you're so busy trying to one up that you using that energy for the energy not even being used for the right thing. And so you get weary in that. But while you're getting weary, guess what the person who is true to themselves doing? They're elevating, they're growing, and they standing true in it. And that's who people gonna actually see. Oh, this is the originator. Oh, this was who this was all along. Oh, this is where this person got this from all along. So if you're worried about that in this time, please don't be worried about it, because one thing for sure is everything is going to work out. Everything is going to work. Please stay and have faith. Please stay on this path and have faith, and don't give up, because when I say everything is going to work out, everything is going to work out. I'm going to talk about it more in this video, in later videos, of just where I am, but I just want to get further along in it. The reason why I haven't been saying certain things, but you can kind of catch it along in the videos as I'm going, and just, if you're a listener, if you have discernment, you could tell I'm not in the same place that I was. You could tell that, there's something different about Ari, because it is. And, I just hope that energy that you feel, that excitement, that those words, the the momentum of what I'm speaking can carry on to you, and know, like, listen, if she's able to be in this energy, if she's able to speak like this, I know my time is, I'm in the right place at the right time, and everything is in divine alignment. And I just want you to know that. So when going back to divine activation and healing, I'm going to put that back on the site soon. Hopefully y'all are up and ready to purchase those, because I even thought of it like this. I know you're like, okay, why is it a digital deck? Well, I was like, we scroll all day on our phone anyway. We use that thumb, our magic finger all day, every day, scrolling. And I'm not on Instagram. Like, I got back on, I want to say some months ago, but like, I'm trying to figure out what my place when it comes to Instagram is. Like, I've told y'all before, I haven't been on Instagram, but prior to the time that I just got on there a few months ago, in about 3 years, probably longer than that, I'm not even sure, probably about 4 or 5, I don't know, but no, it hasn't been 5, it's been about 4, but yeah, going back to what I was saying, I'm at a client house, so I really gotta go. That's why I sound like I'm rushing. But going back to what I was saying, like, we spend all day using our magic thumb, tapping on pictures and using it, all that energy, letting all that energy go. We might as well use it to be divinely guided. Why not? Use it in the morning. As soon as you wake up, ask source what it is that you need to know. Set the intention. What it is I need to know. Let that finger scroll. Let it tap on whatever message it is. About 3 or 4 times, you got your message for the day, and you got it throughout the day. Why not? Why not see a message that's there to help guide you, rather than a picture that is gonna just, what did it do for you except deplete your magic thumb, your magic finger? So, I just hope you're able to see that perspective. That was what I was thinking, when I created it as well. It's like, okay, this is meaningful.